Hey, this is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive, and today we're going to be taking a look at a mod called the Lamborghini Countach, which is a car you've probably heard of. If you've never heard of it before, though, I will be giving you guys a look at it in just 1 second. Before I do that, though, I want to get it out into the sunlight so you can get a nice clear view of things, because we're in the shadows right now. And it looks like there's some sunlight right around this corner, so that should be happening right about now. So if you've never seen a Countach in your life, not even a picture of one, and you saw this, I would tell you this is a good representation of what one looks like. You can tell because of the trapezoids. Like when you look at the details of this thing, it's funny how many trapezoids you see. So right here, the hood. Well, that looks like a trapezoid-like shape. What about this light right here? Well, from this angle, it definitely looks like a trapezoid. This whole fender is basically a trapezoid. How about the side? No, well, you see that air intake right there? That's a trapezoid-like shape. How about the rear? It has one giant trapezoid back here. And then over here, the lights are even a little bit trapezoidish. If you ignore the tail of it and just go a line straight down, that's a trapezoid on the lights. This thing looks so dated, but it doesn't make it look any less cool. This thing still looks as cool as it looks the day it came out. But we're gonna make it look a little less cool by crashing it into something. I just gotta find the correct target. I wanna be going pretty fast for this crash since it is a faster car. I'm thinking maybe about 100 miles per hour for this first crash should be a good starting point of things. I see a building over there. Let's just wreck into that building. Like I'm trying to get to my house, but I'm going way too fast and oh, can I clear that curb actually? No, I cannot. I did not think this through fully. My car cannot clear the curb because it sits really low to the ground. So instead, I shot a fender over the house. That's all I've done at this point, basically, is I shot a fender over the house. So let's go ahead and take a look at the damage. The hood, that seems perfectly fine. The fenders, they're gone. How about the undercarriage of this thing? All right there. A little bit hard to tell what's going on. Over here in the middle of the car, that looks pretty good. It's just I don't really have a frame of reference for what a car should look like when the front falls off, basically. It's hard to know. So let's have a nice, simple crash that's easy to analyze. We're just going to drive forward for a bit, and we're going to crash into that wall straight ahead. We're going to do a little bit of maneuvering to make it an actual close to a head-on collision at least. And we're going to stay upright, right? Yes, we will. Can we get into the sunlight to make it a little bit easier to see? Yes, we can. Perfect. So come to a stop and then take a look at the damage here. Alright, so the front right here, nothing seems wrong with that. That looks fine. How about back here? Taillight looks a little funky and the exhaust looks a little bit funky, but the body panels seem like they deformed alright for the collision. Now here's a new question. Can we drive enough to get another crash going? The answer is going to be so close that I might be able to, but I can't. But I can keep driving more. I was just doing a little flip right there, you know, got a trick to mess with you guys. Now we're gonna crash it for real, right there. Although that was kind of just the front fell off kind of crash, wasn't it? Yeah, okay, it turns out it's hard to drive a car when it's this busted up, so we'll just reset it, and then I'll show you a neat little thing you can do with this. So when you put the parking brake on, the doors open, and they keep opening, and they keep opening, and they keep opening, and they don't stop opening, and they open way too much. And then when you try to close them again, they don't line up right anymore, and they just kind of flail all over the place. You see, they stick out extra, and the glass isn't lined up anymore. Like, I think it used to be they would actually stop opening halfway through, but there's been some updates to the game, and this is like an older iteration of the mod where the doors just open way too far, and it's kind of ridiculous. Doesn't affect the way it drives or anything, though. You might think, oh no, the aerodynamics are going to be messed up, but it just doesn't feel any different to me. It feels the same as it did before, which is a car that's not the easiest to handle, but as long as you respect it, you'll be fine. Which I don't know if that's true, man. From what I know about old Lamborghinis, if you don't respect it, you're already dead. I mean, that could be just a joke, you know, just like Vipers. Who knows? What I do know, though, is we're going to wreck this thing again. We're going to do head-on collision right there in 16 times slow-mo. Kind of another the front fell off one. This thing sits so low to the ground, I can't crash into anything without smacking my front into it. This one looks a little less damaged than the last one, though, so we can at least take a little bit of a look at the damage. And it looks very consistent, actually, to the last one, except the fenders are still attached. So we'll clean it up a bit, and since we're here in a little bit of a darkness right here, like, oh no, it's so dark, what will I do? Okay, I know it's not that dark, but the point is, headlights go up, and they stay up. This is one of those things about this car. For some reason, when I was younger, what the heck are the doors doing? Doors stop. When I was saying those, when I was a kid, I never realized this thing had pop-up lights. So now when I see it with pop-up lights, it just doesn't look right, so we're going to close those lights and pretend they do not exist at all. Because this looks a lot cooler to me that way. When you have the lights up, it doesn't look as cool. It looks just a little wacky then. Anyways, here's something fun you can do. Let's say you're a drifter and you want to drift this thing and you drift using the e-brake, right? Nothing weird there. until you actually try to do that. So if you want to drift around this corner, your whole doors open up like that, and then they gotta close in the middle of a drift. So you can just fall out the car accidentally as you're trying to drift it if you don't wear your seatbelt. So yeah, definitely wear a seatbelt while drifting. Not because just you could fall out the car, but just in general, because if you try to drift and crash it, that would hurt. You want a seatbelt so you don't get too hurt. Alright, we're gonna get this thing up to well over 100 miles per hour for this next crash. And I'm gonna try to just ride it up on that wall right there. So we're just gonna slowly go into the wall like this. Yep, there we go, onto the roof. Is it gonna get upright or is it gonna stay like that? What if we use the doors to push it open? That actually worked. I can't believe that actually worked. Oh, well, we got stuck in a really awkward way, but that was amazing that I was able to open the doors to flip the car back onto its wheels. Even if it didn't work out perfectly, that actually shows you could flip this thing over using just the doors if necessary, which is awesome. So anyways, you've seen the outside, but you haven't seen the inside. So here is the inside, and it looks pretty nice in here. One thing that's funny to me is if you're looking straight ahead, there are 3 Lamborghini logos staring at you. You got one on the steering wheel and then 2 on the dash on the bigger gauges. And actually, we can zoom in a bit so you can see the details on this because it is pretty detailed. When you get nice and close, you can actually read the things on it. It's like over here, you see it says floor, wreck, inside, and over here you got some numbers to choose the time and radio station, all that kind of stuff. Got like a hazards button, all kinds of stuff. So as for functionality, steering wheel does work, pedals do work, parking brake does work, and then of course the doors open and close when the parking brake goes. And when you're in the inside, that's when you really notice just how jiggly these doors are. Like it's a little bit worse because we're spawning in the air, so let me freshen it up. But if you're just driving around, you'll see these doors jiggle about all over the places you're driving. On the outside, you don't notice it as badly, but here it takes up about a quarter of your screen, so you do notice it. Anyways, as far as I know, that's all there is for interior functionality. We could do the blinkers, but I don't see any movement on the stock. And then we could also turn on the lights, but I don't see anything lighting up extra. And since we're in the inside and we're driving about 115 miles per hour, let's have a high-speed interior collision and see what this thing looks like. So we'll just go right into the barrier. I don't want to accidentally bottom out. That's perfect. 16 times slow-mo. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is just a mess. I just see a mess of things going everywhere, and I have a wheel or maybe even 2 wheels in my face. I'm not really sure how I would have 2, but it looked like it for a second, so I can't tell what's going on. Let's go to the outside and take a better look at this. And ooh, that just looks messy over there. That doesn't look too good. This side looks okay, but then you go over here and it's like, ooh, that's not so good. Obviously, that's not going to drive anymore, so I'll reset it, and then we're going to rip the rear right off of it. So we can take a look at the engine, because the engine here actually looks pretty nice. So you see it's a custom made model. It says Lamborghini on it in multiple places. And it's just really nicely detailed. There are a lot of small details in it. And you compare it to a real engine, and a lot of the real details match up with the model. So that's pretty cool to see. And I assume there's no reason we can't drive this with the doors busted up and then the rear torn off. So let's go ahead and do just that. Actually, the doors are lined up a little bit better than I expected for them to open up that much. But anyways, what we're going to do, we're going to ride up on the wall again, and then, can we get upside down so I can flip myself right side up? Come on, yep, maybe? No! Of course, the one time I want to land upside down, I land like this again. How do I manage to get myself stuck like this twice in just a few minutes apart? I don't know. So we'll try one more time to flip it over, and I realized actually why it wouldn't flip over last time. The headlights were on, and it was messing up the aerodynamics, so we'll close the headlights, and now it should be nice and easy to flip this car over. I just gotta find the good spot to do it. Although I don't want to do it here because I've already driven through here. So how about we take a quick shortcut over to this road and try flipping it over in this area. Oh, that was close to flipping. Come on. There we go. Wait. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now, what happens when you open the doors when it's completely flipped? Let's see. Oh. Alright, close the doors. Oh, the doors can't close. They just do. Oh my goodness, I'm shredding this car to bits. And open them again. Nope, that's not gonna work. Well, it did move the car. It just didn't flip the car. But I feel like if we had the right angle and orientation on this, we could flip it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just bring it over to this hill right here because it looks pretty promising. So we'll set it there, reset it, and then I'm gonna just go ahead and flip it onto its side or do a little bit of a roll with it. There we go. And then we open the doors. And that's not working. But what if we close them and then open them again? It hops. I am a genius. I can't believe that actually worked. Like, we actually hopped the car back onto its wheels and it could drive perfectly fine. Yeah, the doors look absolutely awful because they've been crushed, being used as struts to shove the thing right side up. But it worked. Let's see if it can work again. We're going to try to flip it right here. No, we can't. The center of gravity is just too low to flip this thing easily. You need to have really specific crashes to flip it. So instead of trying to flip it, how about we just smash it into the wall and we'll take a look at the damage here. The damage don't look too bad there. Over here there's a floating light which looks a little funny. And ooh, there is a little bit of a spike right there. Back end looks okay though. And then we can go ahead and just reset the car. And we'll keep driving along, but well, we can't because we're stuck. We reset it a little bit more, then we keep driving along the road. And I'm not going to try to flip it because I've realized you can't do that. So instead, I'm going to try to damage the rear of the vehicle. So how about we just do a quick 180 and smack it up into the wall a little bit. There we go. Hold on, car. Get one more hit into it before we take a look. That was a nice hit. All right, so looking at this, top looks good. Left side right there looks a little bit messy. Over on the right, that one looks okay. Maybe a little bit of messiness on the grate, but that is insignificant compared to the left side. How does it drive? Not too well anymore. Not too well at all. This thing can barely get up to highway speed, so I'm just going to keep trying to wreck it. No, that was not how I expected that to go. Can't really do much damage from that low of a speed. And can we go any faster? Not really. But you look at the wheels on this thing. This thing got some fat tires. Must have been like the fattest tires they had when this car came out. I swear. Big fat tires. Alright, this thing's not driving anymore, so you know what? Let's have a pose before we reset it. Looking good. And now we reset the car because I have nothing else to do. And that'll do it for the driving portion of this video. Now I do want to take a look at the parts menu though, because you'll notice all the parts are labeled as Civetta Bolide parts because this mod is based on the Bolide, but it's been modified to fit the Lamborghini Countach body a bit. You will notice though it's far from perfect. You saw there a few crashes where there were some ugly spikes going on, but there were also a few crashes where it looked alright. So it's one of those mods where I don't think it's actually going to get updated in this its final state. It's actually been out for a long time and I was hoping it would get better before I made a video, but I don't see that happening and this is about as good as it's going to get. And also I don't think the colors work, so I'm going to do a quick check on this. We'll grab the Lamborghini and oh, there's no way to actually choose an alternative color there. So, well actually I guess I could hit the colors tab. Oh well, this works too. We're going to just check if we can change the color on any of these and the answer is no. The color is going to stay at what it is, which is a red with a white interior. Okay. Also, one thing I was curious about, because it used bolide parts, did it mess up the bolide in any way? And unfortunately, the answer to that is yes. So we're going to spawn up a bolide and I'll show you what it does that I've noticed. It's not a huge major thing, but it is something worth noting. If you go on the inside here, all the gauges are kind of busted up with no texture things on. I think that'll do it for this map, and I need to install the map I want to change to, so I'll be right back on the map I want. Here we are now on Trial Mountain. I want to do some driving on a racetrack, but I didn't feel like doing it on Hirochi Raceway, so I just grabbed one that I feel pretty comfortable with. And then we could do a little bit of aggressive driving with this thing, which is comparable to a bolide, but it's also different at the same time. Like, it's much easier to get this thing a little bit sideways as you're seeing right here, but it also feels like it's more comfortable being sideways than a bolide. And the suspension on this thing, if you watch the wheels after we go over these bumps and stuff, it looks so much softer. Like right there, do you see how much the rear end lifts up under heavy braking like that? And then right there, that shows you the other thing where it feels like even though it slides more, it's a little bit easier to control because I was all over the place, but I didn't crash it. And oh my goodness, there's the soft suspension again. Rewind that right there because you can see the right rear tire, it popped almost into the air. I cornered so hard. It kind of did it again right there. So yeah, super soft suspension setup on this thing, but it actually feels alright to drive, which I wouldn't expect watching it. Like, you watch this car, you see it slobbering all over the place, bouncing left and right. You think, oh my goodness, that thing must be horrible, but it's really not that bad. And I'm kind of curious, how does a real Countach behave compared to this? Unfortunately, that was one of those things that was a little bit difficult to really research because it's like, I could try driving a Countach in another game if another game had it, but I really didn't have any games that had a Countach. So I could look at videos, but that only really tells you so much, and it's hard to find a lot of videos of Countaches really driving hard. So I really don't know what to think of this. It's just, driving-wise, it feels fine, which to me, that's what I can judge. It feels alright to drive, and that's happy to me. And it does feel a little bit chaotic and a little bit difficult to drive, which I would imagine an old Lamborghini would feel like. You know, old supercars, they didn't have traction control and all that. It was just a big engine right behind your head and big tires and don't spin out. So let's go ahead and wreck this thing at the end of the straightaway, and then we're going to swap maps to do one last thing for this video. Alright, looked like a pretty decent crash. I had a wheel flying into the air. So let's take a look at the damage here. Rear end looks okay. Middle looks okay. Front fender, not so good. It's a little messy there. So, let's go to the last map I want to use, which is going to be Leap of Death. And we'll do one quick jump using the Countach. I'll use slow-mo on the first crash probably, and then the rest of them I won't unless I think it'll be interesting. I don't plan to. We'll see what happens. And again, that bouncy suspension right there. Boing, boing, boing. Alright, full speed in it and letting it fall. Looks like we're going to get to the second area right by the road. Maybe even past it. It's going to be close. Nope, we're making it to the road. So we'll do 100 times slow-mo right before impact right here. And let's see what it do. Alright. Yeah, that looks chaotic. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I don't think we need any slow-mo for the future crashes because at this point, it really doesn't look like a vehicle at all anymore. It actually did better than I expected though. Doesn't look really great or anything, but it did better than I expected. We got now just a tube of Lamborghini. And they should sell that, you know. Tube of toothpaste, but it's Lamborghini flavored. What is Lamborghini flavor? Wouldn't you like to know? Only $300. Think, well, I want to know what Lamborghini flavor tastes like. And then it's just mint anyways. But it's French, Italian, fancy mint from the European countries, and I guess it wouldn't be French, it'd just be Italian, right? Because Italian Lamborghini. I don't know. Anyways, that'll do it for this video. Till next time, this is WhyBeAre with my tube of Lamborghini. I'll see ya.